Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Caraba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980-8483, 340-9400 or 635-9906.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Brusubi opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited, or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051, or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Agada. Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyenje.
Okay. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Bijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka. Mbare ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe.
56 branches mola soto Gambia ja.
Ha?
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nko kodo kiya bere. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi topoto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi man domorol dil fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat ha.
Apelenta
baraka ni na lafta nyelen kendol e bina.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Hello and welcome. This is the Brunch. I'm Lamin Jawla, and this is a weekly look at current affairs. This week, a new era in Gambian football. A new national coach has been appointed to steer the affairs of our football for the next 2 years. He is Jonathan McKinstry, a Northern Ireland, that is a Northern Irish if you like, who had experience coaching national teams in Sierra Leone, Rwanda, and other places. He arrived in the country and hosted a press conference to talk about his philosophy. In our studio today, we will continue where he stopped. My panelists and I myself will take a look at what McKinstry has said and what we expect from him, and how has his job, his first job of course, coming just weeks after we play our World Cup qualifiers. How is his approach? All this in the next 1 hour. Plus, we will also tell you about national awards. We will have a member from the National Youth Parliament who will take us through to the events that is coming in the next couple of days. So, all this on the Brunch today. Right, on my far right is the president of the Sports Journalists Association, Musa Ceesay. And just before him, Paul Stephen Prierra is a sports journalist. And next to me is Mahmoud Jawla. He is the secretary, rather the executive secretary at the moment at the National Sports Council under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, who have played a very key role in the acquisition of the new coach. So, gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Like I said, of course, it's a new era in Gambian football. Well, amid much excitement, we've got a new coach. We are heading to the Cup of Nations qualifiers, the draw of which will soon be made, I'm sure. But we are in the World Cup qualifiers. We played 2 matches. We have 8 to go, including 2 coming very imminently. And we have a coach now in place. What is his task? And what do we expect? First though, let's go back to how do we come by Coach Jonathan McKinstry. And one man who has been at the center of all the processing is Mr. Jawla, whom I introduced, the Executive Director of the National Sports Council. Mr. Jawla,
yes.
Take us through, how do you come by Jonathan McKinstry? I know your office worked with the Gambia Football Federation in the whole processing. I mean, tell us through, according to your information, how many people applied for this job?
Yeah, thank you very much, Lamin Jawla, for inviting me to this very important program, the Brunch, that everybody watches across the country.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my colleagues here. Good afternoon now. All right. The process, maybe before coming to the number of people that have applied, or coaches, you may wish to know that in January, when we went to Ivory Coast for the AFCON, the Gambia, exited in the tournament very early. And then immediately after that,
not because of lack of trying.
No, not because of that. So the coach resigned. After his resignation, then consultations were made there, just verbal, casual consultations, to see, how the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the GFF to work together and then have a national coach. We all understand that the hiring of a national coach lies under the purview of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, or I can say government.
Okay.
Through the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
That is true, yes.
When I say the hiring here, we mean, the remuneration of the coach, although there will be a body that will be responsible of doing the process of that hiring.
Yeah.
Right. So it was then when we came back home, the GFF, through a formal request, wrote to the ministry for, plans to start working on the replacement of Thompson Field.
Okay.
Yeah. Then this was, followed by consultations between the two institutions, ministry, the GFF and the Sports Council representing the ministry.
Yeah.
And then the green light was given for them to go ahead and then advertise the position.
Exactly.
It was advertised.
Yeah.
And to our surprise, 90 coaches applied. 90 coaches across the globe. You have, Central European, from the Latin Americas, Asia, within Africa, Europe, everywhere.
Okay.
And,
including one from the Gambia.
Including one from the Gambia. So when that happened, a committee was set to look at the aspiring candidates. And in this committee, like I said at the opening, it was headed by Ibu Faye, the second vice president. This is the technical committee responsible of...
they call it Technical and Development.
Development Committee, all right. Yeah, that is the Technical and Development Committee, yeah, that is responsible of, technical matters in football. So I was nominated as the representative of government into that committee so that we have a joint force that will work towards hiring a new coach.
So to make it quick,
so we had that committee, exactly, and then looked at the coaches based on their qualifications and their experiences, and we've even looked at the ages as well.
Okay.
It is important to have a young coach. Not that very young, but middle ages who, will be very active.
Yeah. In other words, if you meet the criteria,
then that is going to be an added advantage.
You have an advantage when you are young.
Very well. So that
He's
was
38.
done. Yeah, he's 38. So we trimmed the number to 27. The 27 best, according to their qualifications. We started with 27.
That was still very high.
Still very high. So we looked at the 27 again and picked the best, based on their experience again.
We picked 3.
We picked 5.
Oh, 5. Oh,
yes.
So you trimmed it to 5.
We trimmed it to 5, and then it was these 5 coaches that we interviewed.
The committee in
place. All this process were done
by the committee. So you interviewed the 5.
We interviewed the 5, and then based on, because in an interview activity,
yeah, I was going to ask how anonymous, how unanimous was the choice?
In fact, okay, maybe I don't know whether I should say that or not, but it has happened that sometimes you will have 2 or 3 people, scoring the individual with the same, score.
Okay. All right.
You see, and it was such a panel that you face each other. The setting it's not like sitting side by side. You have others here and then others the other side. You facing each other. So the guy that you are,
interviewing.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you will have the same score for one individual, and then that is how it happened, and that's how Jonathan, emerged as the coach here, the favorite, the coach with the highest score. Yes.
For all the criteria.
Because the experience, the qualification, your expression, your knowledge of the game, even your understanding about Gambian football.
Yeah, he topped the charts.
Exactly, he topped, everything. Followed by, another guy, a Belgian, and then we have our own Gambian T-boy, you know. So this is how we came by, you know, Jonathan.
You of course, after satisfying yourself with the criteria he met, you have an immediate problem, which is how do you agree on monetary terms? Because we understand that when our former coach was here, he was among the least paid in Africa in terms of managers. Did you find it difficult to get McKinstry to agree to your offers, monetary offers?
Yeah, you know, it will come a time when, you know, in an interview, you will have to ask the coach, or the interviewee, his expectations in terms of, you know, remuneration. Okay. And then the person will, you know, tell you this is what I'm expecting. Yeah. Now, if that does not match with what your budget, you'll have to negotiate. So this has happened, and then negotiations were done.
You might come at an issue where you might put aside a very qualified coach just because you think you may not be able to pay him. Don't you think some of the people you sideline, it might just be that you may not be able to pay them?
No, because if you understand me well,
I can look from among for a very good coach from among, but once I know the price here, I just put him aside based on the fact that I can't pay the price, so I don't negotiate with him. He might not be, it might in fact be, in terms of the qualifications, might be the best. You don't have that problem?
No, we don't have that problem. If you listen to me, we trimmed the numbers based on their qualification until when we got to the last 5 most qualified. You understand?
Yeah.
So
I'm talking about that. Among that 5.
It's among that 5.
I hope you didn't.
Jonathan, you know, is rated
aside because you cannot pay.
No. We don't. Okay. We have not done that anyway. Right. Yeah. So he was, you know, on top, and then when we interviewed them, the scoring, he's, you know, he might the top, you know.
So you handed him 2 years contract?
Yes.
And among the conditions, when we have to qualify with the Cup of Nations? I didn't see any specific, because nobody people said, okay, here are your conditions, get us into the World Cup, or get into the Cup of Nations.
The technicians will, you know, tell you more about that, but looking at the duration of his appointment, it is very short. I don't think that our focus should be for him to qualify us. You understand?
But that is the African. But that's a bar we have set. We qualified twice. One would have thought that anybody who comes will certainly must qualify us, at least.
Now, if you are appointed as the coach of the Gambia, and then when you come, you know, you have found out that we have qualified twice consecutively.
And one of them
even if you are not, one of them we know qualify. That one of the, you know, objectives is to qualify for the African Cup, because the World Cup, that one.
So even if you are not told,
too close, some matches have already gone.
Even if he's not told, he knows he can't do below that.
He can't do below that.
At least you put it on pen and paper.
But it is on pen and paper, or is
that one of the conditions is we must qualify.
Exactly. In the press release, I think you have seen what we wrote in the press release.
It's there.
Exactly. We have written that in the press release. So, you know,
very
these are things that, you know, you don't compromise.
Okay. Other conditions, before we go to the analysts who we have been watching, other conditions like on the coach, on the Tom, it was said that he didn't have a residence clause in the contract. That's he can afford to live in Europe and don't necessarily need to here, because government would not give him a place to sleep, a car to ride. Where is this man going to stay? Because I heard him saying that it makes sense that he stays in Europe, because that's where most of the players are based anyway. And it's cheaper and easier to move around in Europe than to be here and giving the GFF bills to be flying in and out. So should we expect that this guy may also leave much of the time, his job time in Europe rather than in Gambia?
No. He will be coming to the Gambia from time to time, unlike the former coach. He will come even in the clauses, one of the clauses of the contract, that he will be giving technical assistance to the GFF, and if that is to happen, he should stay. So during the course of that period, you know, whether it's going to be a week or 2 weeks, he will be in the Gambia, interact with the GFF, you know, watch league games, do some scouting, you know, based on the league players we have here, so that, you know, we can have a standing home-based players team, you know, readily available.
So he will be coming frequently,
he
much
will be
more
coming
frequent than what was obtained on that.
Exactly. In fact, Tom has not been coming. Yeah, but for him, he will be coming. Yes.
Okay.
And then he'll be provided, you know, with the
what about his
tools
technical
for him
staff? In the contract, he said he's going to leave. He's going to work with 2 foreign staff. Two from Northern Ireland. Is it 3? 3. He said 3.
Okay.
That they will have 3 staff. That's perhaps his own choice of people he wants to work with. Is that also in the contract?
No, that is not. But he has the prerogative to choose those that he is going to work with.
But
that is the technical,
but
the GFF's, you know, job to do that. Discuss with him and then agree what, you know, the people that he is going to bring. Now with Tom, how many of them do we have? About 6 or 5?
Yeah, I mean, we had about 6.
Yeah, something like that. Medic, video analyst.
I never learned their names. I can only recognize. I never learned their names. But so
okay, very good. But with him, it's less than that. The rest will be our Gambian.
He said
people.
3.
Exactly 3. So I think that is a very, very good start.
Do you have a formally? There were talks that you're gonna get a fully fledged assistant. Him. Or is he gonna work with the staff that the structure that was left by Tom? For example, RG Sar as assistant. Is that what's going to happen now, or there's going to be an assistant for my?
Yeah, you know, we have our limits as a government.
No, but you are in the committee.
Yes, I am in the committee. I know. Yeah. We have, you know, done our job, and then, you know, we have done recommendations. You understand? So the GFF will now execute, you know, those recommendations. And from the look of things that you have seen in the press conferences, those people around him clearly tells you that those are the people that he is going to work with.
Abdul Jammeh, T-Boy, it's been rumored to be perhaps the assistant. Has that happened? Or was it recommended? Was it among the recommendations?
It's part of the recommendations. That, you know,
he's
going to be part of the technical team. The second assistant coach.
Not the first. What do you mean by second? You mean direct assistant to Mackenzie?
No, I'm not sure. Okay, but let me tell you, I just want us to be very clear here.
You are in the committee.
I am in the committee, yes. But there are certain things. It is the technical committee of the GFF that can give you, you know, a very.
No, I thought within the recruitment, you recruited 2. You recruited from the coaches. We were applicants, a full-time coach and an assistant.
Our mandate was to recruit the head coach.
And the assistant, that's the business of the GFF.
That is
head coach himself.
Or the head coach.
The head coach
decides who becomes
in collaboration with the technical committee and how do you call it? Technical and the development committee.
Let me go
that
to
one will be
Musa
chosen
before you go to Stephen. Stephen have been having an eagle eye on the whole process. Maybe he will give his analysis on it. Musa, so here comes a new era in our football. You've been around for long and have seen Paul Put even before him, and Raul Savoy, and much recently Tom Shamfa. What impression do you get from this Mackenzie guy?
Cham, thank you. I mean, Jonathan, for obvious reason, he's young. He has the energy. And Jonathan breathes in a fresh air into our game. Everyone, even including yourself, is always excited when you take up a new job. We're all excited about it. And he's equally excited. There is something about Gambia that we Gambians sometimes don't even appreciate in the little progress of our game. And that baffles me, myself, and I don't know why. People who matters very much in the world of football appreciates Gambia's progress. But we are troubled in appreciating and accepting the little strides we've taken. As you mentioned, I've been here for a while, but there are so many hundreds of thousands of people who are here before me, who had been following our game and who appreciates most of the strides we've taken. And we as a people, as young as our football might be, have progressed, have traveled, But yes, we have a long way to travel. But that doesn't mean that we cannot accept the fact that we have traveled some 100 miles. Yeah. Jonathan has joined a very exciting young group of players, which he's spoken about, which he is appreciated, he's happy to work with. And I can see the enthusiasm coming out of him. He has a philosophy, he has an approach into a game. He's been following us. And the beauty about what Jonathan is doing, Jonathan has been following Gambia even before he became a coach.
Yes. He said
he's an aspirant.
He said so.
He said so.
Yeah.
And this is about all those coaches who applied had an eye on Gambia. Following our exploits in Cameroon, going into Ivory Coast. And of course, they know what they wanted if they were to take on the Gambian national team. What to trim, how to play, how do we improve, where to improve, what do we need to do to go beyond what we've already experienced. And I think this is what Jonathan had his eyes on, and this is what excited him. He's been in Africa for a while. He traveled a little bit. As a young coach, he's traveled a lot, gathered some experience. What impresses me most about him is the boldness. The boldness in the sense that, I mean, even though our fledgling young media with all the critics and all the brouhaha, I mean, you know, he consumed them. He was responsive because they engaged him. And I mean, that was also rare. We never had that with, I mean, Tom Samfei earlier on. Tom was more of a battler. But I mean, Jonathan is responsive. He listens. And the little exchanges I had with him with the press, he put across succinctly all the questions that were put to him fairly and squarely. And what impresses me most is his desire to move on, forward. Yeah. Let's move forward. And of course, some of my colleagues want to stay behind. And that is disappointing. And I'm talking about the young media and press. I mean, the media and the press. I mean, Paul and colleagues, my people, you know, they always want to hold back. But they say, hey, we have to move on. Let's move on. That's what we are about, Cham.
I was going to ask about, well, you might not have the opportunity to see the credentials of the applicants, so you definitely may not be well placed to know whether there could have been. But then, I was, if I had gone to the press conference, I was going to say, okay, I'm not too impressed with his jobs in international class. Like Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone didn't qualify for more than nearly 30 years now.
Also in Asia.
Rwanda, when last did we see them in the Cup of Nations? Not under his tenure. So I was a bit scared. Look, this guy was in Africa. He was in Sierra Leone and Rwanda. Sierra Leone didn't qualify for 25 years. When he went there, he could not make them qualify. We have set a bar here that we must qualify. I haven't been there twice. Even he himself spoke very well about Gambia. I was going to ask him, are you really prepared? That's the expectations in the Gambia. You can't go below qualifying Cup of Nations. Are you not scared that his international record?
Absolutely. Now, but the thing is, I mean, I'm just going to put you back onto something you put to Lamin Jawla earlier on about in terms of if we might have put away or put off some coaches who might have been very qualified because you don't have the money to pay them.
That's another thing.
That's not even a no-go area. You cannot bring in Pep Guardiola here and...
No, I mean,
yes, I'm coming. Allow me. For example, just an example. I mean, Pep's, weekly wage is what we need for our qualifying, entire qualifying. Allow me.
We want to know.
Allow me, please. For example, that's an example. We must be honest with ourselves. You and I are informed. As a country, as a people, there are things that we can and we cannot do. You know it. You know what our economy can. I wish there was I wish there was $1 billion is allocated to the Ministry of Youth and Sports to take care of our sports and our youth issues. But that is me thinking, excuse me, you know, crazily. That's not going to be. So, for example, as they mentioned, they went down, whittled down the numbers, bring it to the number, acceptable, qualification, probably, even knowing fully well that these are the people we can engage and negotiate, we can afford to pay their salaries. Unlike when something like FSL was paying Paul Potts wages. But that was also a lot of money by then. How many years ago? Some 10 years ago. You know, probably. I mean, these are things. But my thinking is that this should not be the way that our football should be run. I want to see an innovative funding of our national teams. We've been talking about this thing for a while now. It is, government would like to do it, but we know that government would struggle. The Federation would struggle. So there should be a better or a third way in between when our football should be seen to be very much innovatively funded, privately, by bringing in people, institutions together to see how best we all are seen to be supporting the national team financially, so that at least the progression can be maintained.
Very good. Paul, you have had, like I said, blow by blow coverage of the whole process and up to the unveiling of the squad that he wants to use in the imminent double head World Cup qualifiers. So let's go back. What are your impressions from the Tom Ceesay era and now? What are the prospects?
Well, thank you so much, Cham, and it's a great honor to be here with these great brains to share the same platform with them. Like I said, I'm here to learn from them, but then I will equally share my thoughts about the new era, the new beginning. And there is a big gap during Tom's era and Jonathan's era. From the press conference, he speaks volume about Gambia, and that can really tell you that this guy really wants to work with us, and he knows the task ahead. The committee that looks into these appointments don't need to tell him. He already knew that Gambia qualified and made another return back to AFCON again. So obviously, bringing them, taking up that role as the head coach, you obviously, Musa didn't need to tell you, or Jawla, that this team needs to qualify.
You know it.
World Cup qualifiers, obviously for me, I know that it's a no-go area for Gambia. After the 2 games, maybe a miracle can happen along the line. Anything can happen, it's football. But then when journalists put questions to him, asking him, that is the question you put to Jawla, whether he still captured him staying here.
Yeah.
And then look at this young man telling you, thinking like a Gambian, staying here, your government, the GFF, and any other person, how much will they put in me? And that money can be put to something else for the country. I look at myself, I said, wow. People have been saying I am coming from from a very good family. Where I come from, I have everything that I want. Now give me this. But he's looking at the country he is going to and what he wants to put
our capabilities.
He wants the job. He needs the job. And
in fact, he said one of his assets is adaptability. Wherever he goes,
yeah. And then having someone to tell you, I have already spoken to 40 players.
Yes.
Already. Even yet to be unveiled, he already told you that he talked to almost about 40 to 50 Gambian players. That tells you that he is not even waiting for him to be unveiled. He already started doing his job.
He's ready.
And he has already know Gambia history before he applies. So, and then coming back to the press conference where he was unveiling his squad, journalists put him through about some of the players who are absent. And look at this young man telling you, you can be in Gambia here, and Musa is playing in League 2 in France, but he has 4 goals, and I am playing in Gambia here. I have 29 goals. But look at the levels.
Yes.
If you bring Musa back to Gambia, how many goals will he give?
The level of the leagues.
So sometimes we just sit back home and feel, okay, my colleague is from Lamin, I am from Lamin, he is not choosing, these are not the right players.
I saw that. I definitely, Paul, that's a good point. The polarization of the whole thing about our football is that, and we're speaking from a media point of view, what's happening is that, we are not supporting our national team. We're not commenting on issues or being critical of the national team because we about national team. It's about who is my friend, who is my brother, who do I come from the same vicinity. These are some of the things that polarizes. Some of us, and we go and we buy it. How we buy it? Because it is put in the media, it is put in social media, and confusing. Even the coaches would pick it up. Why is X not? But for me, what I picked up from one of his comments, that nobody signed a contract with the national team.
Yeah.
You have no contract with the national team. The only contract you have with the national team is your consistency. Your consistency from your club. That is what qualifies you to be selected.
He said, for example.
And for me, what is important moving on is about, it's a huge privilege to be called on to play for the national team. And I don't think that nobody should even be you know, I mean, be pleaded to me. Can you kindly come and play for us? This is something that you should want. It is the highest. Persuading. No, nobody needs persuading. This is the highest level of football you will ever play to represent your country, your national team. If that's accorded to you, because you can, Cham, for me, you don't bid that.
Paul, yes, he said some of the things that, like you are mentioning. He said he would never call a player who is not attached to some club or have been, unless of course.
Yeah, he did.
Unless very cool. Your joblessness coming very near to the competition. He made that clear.
Yeah, perhaps, you know, sometimes some players, their contract runs out. Yes. And he did make that clear.
Yeah.
And there's supposed to be 2 games for Gambia. Yeah. Obviously, if you're waiting to sign for a new contract, that's understandable. That's understandable. He made those things clear. But then also he did say, if you are invited to the national team, you have to compete for the play, for your position. You have to compete.
Yeah, even new ones.
So now, look at him from unveiling with that hot weather straight to watching our local games, watching Real Deban Jones, and from there next 2 days he's with the local coaches, trying to tell them what he wants. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, the local coaches might learn from him and try to develop players back home here. Perhaps that will suit his playing style. I during the press conference, the unveiling, a journalist asked him, "What is your playing style, or what will be your formation?" I look at myself. I said, after the press conference, I called him. I said, "How can you be going to war and you ask Musa how many bullets
tactics you are going to
your tactics? How would you attack your enemy?" People are watching. This is a live press conference.
Oh yes.
Your opponents will go there and listen and say, "Okay, Jonathan said this is how he's going to approach the game." I said, "You don't do that." I said, the moment you asked the question, everybody was looking at you at the press conference. So sometimes when you come, then I have high confidence with him, looking at how he speaks about Gambia and how ready he is. And he did made it clear that his first game, the way they will play, will be quite different from how we used to play previously.
Is that reflected in the kind of people he selected for the job? Let's come to his selection.
I'm not a technician. I'm not a technician. But even myself, you know, I'm not a coach.
You can feel it.
If I want to, let's say, select a team, I am going to select people that I think
are going to play
going to play my game. Yeah, because he said he has, you know, he's been watching our boys. So his style of play, the formation he wants, you know, there are people that he thinks can better do that for his job.
What and they will do it for him. Just threw in now was put to him about Jibril Silla.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it clear. Jibril has 20 goals and perhaps some assists with this season, and he's currently playing a final for his team. So
that's the one based in Senegal.
No, Tanzania.
Okay.
And then he said, you need to look at the position. If I am a striker, natural striker, Musa is a natural striker. Now you look at the levels. Jibril Silla, his position, there are players in that position competing day in, day out, even though they are not scoring or not assisting like the way he's doing. But you look at the levels. They're playing in Europe.
He's in Tanzania. Okay. Let's look at the formation. Look at the players he selected. We noted there have been quite more than half a dozen key players in the Tom Shenford arrangement all the time who have been sidelined either injury or personal reasons. I underline personal reasons. How long are we going to live with these players saying I'm not coming because of reason this A or B?
You know, Musa was saying this.
Yeah.
Players should take this as a pride to be invited to play for their countries, you know, and not to be pleaded to so that they come and play for the Gambia. It is everybody's obligation to be able to do something for your country, even if you are not asked to. You understand? So there will come a time, in fact, very soon that will happen, because the way this coach started, you know, he is somebody by, you know, the look of things, who will not be bootlicking anybody.
No.
You understand? You are called once, you did not come, and you have not given a reason that is genuine. Next time we call somebody who is willing to come and do it for his country.
Absolutely.
Like our former president will always say, I have 1 million people to choose from. So we also, at the moment, we have a pool of players. When I went to the hotel to see him, he said he has spoken to, that was before the press conference, he has spoken to 40 players. And he has, in his separate list, about 65 players. Some are born to Gambians in Europe and in the Americas. He would try to talk to them and convince them, to come and play for the Gambia. So now you will see everybody must toil to have a position in the national team. You don't. Those who are willing to come and do it for the Gambia will come. On the question of the monetary issue you're talking about, that whether we have not left some coaches that we think because they are going to ask a lot, so we didn't take them. You see these people that we shortlisted. After the shortlisting, during the negotiation with him particularly, his focus is not the money. He's got a target, and that target, that's his personal, reason. His target, who knows whether he wants to set a record in the Gambia, and then that will catapult him to
I even have to
a higher level.
I have to confirm.
So money is not their problem.
I have to confirm it with you, because whatever is it that, just like you very well know that whatever Tom is earning right now in the Philippines is far more than what we've ever paid him.
Yes.
Jonathan is going to be the same. The moment he leaves Gambia, he's going to catapult himself up.
Yes.
So most of the time, I don't know what he was earning in the former countries, in the Sierra Leone and Uganda and moving on. But obviously, Gambia is just like a huge stepping stone because of our own recorded progress.
Yes.
So anybody who has to work is going to develop himself, develop our national team, raise the level, and move up to. He's not here. He's not going to stay here for the next 10 years.
No.
He's not going to stay here for as long as Tom did. But he's going to do his job and move on. And that's the nature of coaching in this. Just look at the coaches around the world. You come, if you stay in a country for 3 years, that's far too long.
Yeah,
move on.
Paul stayed here 5 years, was it?
There you go.
And you handed him a contract for 5 years, was it?
The young
that's past.
We're looking forward. Sell the name of Gambia, and that's why we earned that 90 applications.
Coaches. Yes.
Look at pundits, great pundits for that matter, that we look at during Champions League, La Liga, watching them. Our last game with Cameroon, they were all everywhere, social media writing Gambia. So that's, yes, we lose. Those were results that maybe perhaps me, I told them that God has said this is where we're going to end, and this is how it's going to happen.
No, but as Paul mentioned, Cham, what we're talking about our team in here is that, as I said earlier on, we have more people right now talking about Gambian football than Gambians are talking about their own football positively. And I mean positively. That's key. Because if you look at all the pundits around the world, commentators, and how they're rating Gambia and how they're watching their game, for us, it is about our results. The moment we lose,
that's what we are focused on.
And we start fighting. But for the eagle eye, professional and top, football, personnel the world over, they look at Gambia and look at what we have.
The prospect in that team.
On polished gems. And the qualities that we have that we need to polish, that we need to develop to go to the next level. And this is what matters to some of these coaches, and that's what they can do. You and I can only talk about the game.
Let's go back to Jawla. In terms of the contract, 2 years, relatively short. But maybe it's ample time also for a new coach to put in his philosophy, as he said. Let's talk about the logistics, because you must have discussed or included in your contractual agreement. What sort of things did he specifically ask for before international match, like foreign camping, the fact that we don't have a stadium, we have to play away once? Didn't he have any comments or any questions about those things, and how did you tackle them?
We all said this guy knows what is available in the Gambia before coming. So he has not laid any conditions regarding a new form of logistic. The logistical arrangement that prevails in the previous regime, or I'll call it an era of Tom, continues, even though there will be some changes in terms of amounts and so forth. You understand? So he did not stress on that. With regards to the infrastructures, we know the stadium will be ready. God willing, by September we'll play our first game. Like he put it, I can't wait to play home and then have pleasant nights and days ahead. He's eager to play home. Yeah, he alluded to, because we said, oh, but this stadium is small now. The capacity has reduced based on the sitting arrangements that was done there or is done there. He said, no, in Ireland, in Belfast, their stadium is small. You enjoy, and then you have the feel of play when it is packed, a small stadium packed, and you have people who will be shouting from the start to the end. Yeah. You understand? That's where you have die-hard fans. Big stadiums, you'll have maybe up to 10, 15 to 20,000 people who will just come, not because they have come to support the team, but exactly, just, I have to go to the stadium and then watch. But die-hard fans will come, start from first whistle down to the last whistle, supporting. So the stadium will be ready.
He didn't have any special or extra requirements that he want you in the contract or you to put in place.
He has requested for this website. No, it's not a website. Software that you use to scout players across across the world. That one he requested that, and it is going to be available. In fact, maybe it is in fact already done, because the technical side, that is the GFF, will work on that as quickly as possible, so that he will be able to scout players anywhere in the world. So that will be paid for a length of 1 year, and then he will not have.
In the past, well, we're hailing in the run-up to his hiring. We were praising the relationship between the government and the GFF. The coordination you are now doing, and the collaboration you did to get the coach. In the past, we had all the burden of the coach was being borne by the GFF on the top. It was astonishing to learn that every time he got here was paid by the GFF and not the government, even though it was the government's responsibility from the word go to pay coaches and stuff like that. We understand that this one, you are in the picture as government, because you obviously have taken the undertaking that you're going to pay all his salaries and all his things. Is that now that is now established that he's going to be the government?
Yeah.
You have to leave some matters with the GFF.
I began by saying that the issue of the coach is the responsibility of government.
Yes. It was even on the top. Should have been.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. It is our responsibility to take care of the coach. I know there are times when government was unable to pay the salaries, and I don't know. I think it's the salaries, because it will not be fair when we say everything is borne by the GFF in the previous coach's era. His badge bonuses, his tickets to travel to games, and all those.
His salary, I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you have added those other
his salary
logistics. Government does all that.
Yeah, I know.
If he wins a game, his bonus is paid by government. The camping fees, all that is paid by government. From Europe to anywhere we play our game, he doesn't come to the Gambia. Yeah. Okay, all those things are taken care of. Yeah, it's not done. That one was apparent. Everybody knows about that.
No, we didn't know.
This is not. This is not what should definitely happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes about innovative. Government is constrained. They have a lot of things to do.
Exactly.
All the basically everything country needs done by government. He mentioned whether you might explore innovative means of getting extra money to take care of sports. Like for example, we had about the sports levy. I don't know how effective is that, because that can help.
It is very effective. If you see the Gambia in the past years, we don't have problems in funding our sports. It's because of the levy.
I see.
That is one innovation. But there is another innovation during the AFCON preparations. We have the NCC. We've gathered a lot of money, and up to today, that is what we are using to fund the national team and other sports as well. Even the last, this just ended African Games, is from that innovation. You understand? With other sports. So it is going on, but you also see today that the associations and federations should also come up with their own, creativity. Wherever you go in this world, federations and associations will have marketing managers to market their products so that the private sector would be attracted. Anywhere you go in this world, sports is funded by the private sector. Governments cannot, even the US.
The problem in our country, is the economy is so small.
No, but I don't think, we always say the economy is small, but if you market well, you will have at least a percentage.
There could be some return.
There will be some return. So that also needs to be.
I think we have a problem there. The country, you see the sports journalists may be loud mouth, trying to seem that we are like England. If you listen to radios now, they have more sports programs than anything.
Because it's free talk.
You think we are like Australia, England, France, where sports is an everyday life. When actually here, it's not. It's only a small. A small people who are even interested in sports.
That's what is expected from them.
So now
they have to.
Now, unlike Senegal, where businesses queue to be associated with sports, because there everybody knows what they can get in return for popularizing their products or their businesses by associating with sports. In the Gambia, we don't have that.
But look at. That's why we always say Rome was not built. Rome was not built in a day. Senegal, going back to the time of Joseph Koto, and others. It was the government that struggles to fund the sports.
That's where we are now.
That's where we are. We will come. Companies are, also coming gradually to the Gambia, and we have started associating ourselves. If I'll not be fair if I don't mention AfriCell, QCell and others, they have, who has been, particularly AfriCell with us, all along. You were paying the coach's salary. You understand? So this is how this thing is going to go. In the next 10 years, we will see more companies come in, and then now we will start to yield, the fruit of, the struggle, like you are doing. That is what is expected of them. Let them propagate, the positivity in our football and sports in general, so that others will pick it. That is what is going to attract people. Let them think that Gambia is even beyond the capacity of England. You understand? Then the businessman out there will be attracted.
Justifiably so.
Okay. That is it.
All right.
So gradually we will get there, and then the economy is growing.
Okay. In realistic terms, we have 8 matches in the World Cup qualifiers to go.
Yes.
And the Cup of Nations draw is not done.
Done yet.
Morocco 2025. That at least we will play. Let me say at least 3 away and 3 home.
Yeah,
so we're talking about
8, 14.
Well,
in total,
we might have
combining the two tournaments.
We might have 2 here, 2 times 3, 6 matches. Perhaps we will get that.
14 games.
One would have thought that, and this is not only the government, maybe in the GFF. That's why we wanted them to hear. We know we don't have a chance in the World Cup qualifiers. To be realistic.
So.
Well, we don't
say, we don't think, we don't have a chance. There is a chance.
I said football is funny, anything can happen.
That is it.
We only
play 2 games.
We have 8 to go.
If we win all the 8.
But listen now.
You think we cannot?
I just want to listen to that. Listen. In the past, when under the regime of the Obi Konate, Gabi Soses, and maybe even before that, they used to have a choice. by picking, except when CAF and FIFA agreed now to join the World Cup and World Cup and Cup of Nations qualified in a few occasions for the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, and I think another occasion. These competitions are done separately, like we are having here.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be wise for us to pull out of the World Cup qualifiers and concentrate our resources on the Cup of Nations alone? I know now, in order to get FIFA funds, the National Federation must register in FIFA competitions. But to be realistic, how much money are you going to spend in the 8 matches that's coming? You spent over 200 million in our campaign to Cameroon the last time.
Yeah.
How much money would it cost us to play 8 more matches in the World Cup when we know we don't have the materials to compete against Ivory Coast, Gabon, etc., etc. We know very well we don't have the materials. But why are we there? Why can't you impress on the GFF to agree to give up the World Cup and then consider the Cup of Nations? It makes financial sense.
Do we?
I know.
Let me just. If you want to make the point talk, then you will not have a response. No.
Come here, I'm not finished. I already told you why it is important, because the GFF will not agree to what? To pulling out of the Cup of Nations, because obviously, apart from playing there,
why do we
not the Cup of Nations?
The consequences of pulling out are more.
That's right.
No. I mean, I'm responding to you.
But let's look at it now.
I want him to understand one thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is expensive.
It's very expensive.
I agree, it is expensive.
Yeah.
But now, let us not look at what we spend. Let's look at
what we could get out of it.
Now, at the moment, he has started exposing our young players.
If I may,
the more players we put in, the more money we have. Look at the remittances from our players.
No,
from the under 20. Excuse me. No.
You are looking at the far end.
That's not the far end. Those are the realities.
No, you are not.
This is what I'm coming to.
You know what I'm
We invest on them and then get big returns.
What
now the 20 or 19 players from the under 20 that went to
all over
Argentina for the World Cup,
they're all gone.
Where are they? They are all gone.
Yeah.
How much have we spent on them? Millions of dollars. Listen. But how many millions now is coming as remittance?
If I wish that was quantifiable.
Listen.
I always argue that there should be, if the the means are there, to look at how much sports brings to this country. If this is established, government will add, sports as a priority.
Absolutely. And it's for the justification, for the justification.
Added to education, health, and agriculture.
You are definitely talking in terms of it is ideal for us to participate in every competition.
Right?
No,
I'm just limiting myself to the World Cup.
I'm saying
only the World Cup.
Normally, ideally, the country should not pull out from any competition. We should have the means, be able to have the means to compete everything. But I'm saying, as it happened in the past, where there is choice in terms of finance between 2 competitions, in the past, on the Obi Konate, on this thing, they used to sit down and look. In fact, how many times did we pull out of even the Cup of Nations qualifier?
Yeah, because there are no funds.
Listen carefully.
If there is,
we
will go until there are no funds.
You know what happened? Consequences.
I know the thing very well.
Now the ramifications
have changed.
Now listen, we know, and I'm arguing with GFF. There will be the list to encourage for us to pull out of FIFA competitions, particularly the World Cup, because the ramification is that this FIFA forward and all these FIFA support assistance are all based on you participating. But look at how much money we are going to spend, and I know, and I'm a Gambian, I want us to qualify for the World Cup, but I know at this stage that the Cup of Nations should be our priority, because there we have qualified twice, there we have made progress, we finished in the last 8 of Africa, but out of 10 teams, if you ask me, much as I love the Gambia, I would definitely say no. I think this one we are going to participate and pick experience, pick exposure.
If the Gambia,
I would be the list.
This past AFCON.
So where you have a choice.
This past AFCON.
No, where you have a choice.
No, let me come.
No, listen, where you have a choice.
Just wait. This past AFCON, if the Gambia can go, head to head with Cameroon, and then push them to the corner up to, everybody thought they were out.
Let's move on.
And that team
if you
is ready for the World Cup.
Let's move on. If you have limited
so
resources.
should we say Gambia is not ready for the World Cup?
No.
Nobody
said Gambia is not ready.
No.
Nobody said that. I told you, ideally, we should go in the
when we have the manpower,
all the disciplines.
We will put in the force to go to the World Cup.
Yes. All the disciplines where ideally, Gambia should put international teams for all the disciplines. That's what we already agreed that we have our limitations in terms of everything. Would it not be prudent on us? You people direct sports. You direct national sports in the Gambia. I am asking, in your deliberations, don't you find the need to engage the GFF and say, look, we think perhaps, what are the ramifications of pulling out of the Cup of Nations Cup, or in not even participating, because we may have very limited chances of qualifying. The resources we have, we're going to pump it to the Cup of Nations campaign, where we have realistically a very good chance of making it to the final tournament.
Yeah, but maybe our objective is not to only play and then stop there. We have varying, objectives.
Yeah. Okay, as a country, you participated well in the AFCON. You did well.
Yeah.
And you want to look at yourself and say, okay, you're going to pull out of the World Cup qualifiers because you knew you're not going to qualify.
But after the draw, everybody knows that.
No, but when we are going for Cameroon.
No, Cup of Nations.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just giving you points so that you get to understand.
Yeah.
You have a choice. You want us to pull out.
Yeah.
And I might have a different...
Wouldn't it be prudent financially to choose between concentrating on the Cup of Nations?
Okay.
All right, 2025 in Morocco.
Yes.
And when the World Cup draw was made, we saw the kind of opposition we are up against. We know our limitations. Wouldn't it be prudent to think of withdrawing from that and concentrating on the Cup of Nations, where there is choice for us?
Yes, you have a good point there.
Yeah.
When we're in Cameroon, it is more tougher pool than this World Cup.
But the qualification is longer this time and far more expensive. Especially we don't even have a home. We are not sure that we'll play.
But Cham, you have been in football. And
football, anything can happen. You are not there, you are not sure. But for us, we are sure that we will play home very soon.
Yeah.
That is the stadium.
Yes, very soon.
But we have had this before.
You need to go around and see.
We had it before, it didn't happen.
Go around and see what is happening. We were as a result of some of the additions that were brought.
We had it before, we didn't play there. So we have to see September.
But then, I will not put that blame on government or the federation for not being able to play, because they have told us previously that the stadium will particularly finish in this month. But then they receive recommendation. Okay,
exactly.
You need to put your stadium to standard, and this were the working points, or this is what you need to put into the stadium. But then someone come in to inspect, and he told you no. XYZ is being left out. And you're now currently working on that. I just want you to, I passed there yesterday. That's why I said I am impressed with what I have seen.
That's what I said. He should go there and then
outside. What I saw outside,
I know what happened.
I have been outside. I saw stadiums. What I am seeing right now,
we spent over $100 million only to be told that in fact what we have spent are not definitely the things that are required to acquire the CAF standard.
Okay, Cham.
Now I know that. Yes. I know the second phase.
I'm not talking about the second phase. I just want to.
I'm trying to say
yes
that where we have to choose in terms of limitation of resources, wouldn't it be prudent? I know. I'm telling you, in the past, what used to happen is that the football management would withdraw us from competitions because of lack of money.
And that's why
listen,
the levels are
the levels are down. That's why
you talk about centuries, 20 years ago, 30 years ago,
Now, I'm trying to say, we have moved on. I know what I'm trying to say. You are not listening to it. We had it very well. You cannot compare this era and 20 years ago. I'm saying that we have all agreed that our resources are limited. We said it. We know that what the country gains, okay, let's say specific, what the GFF gets from FIFA in terms of development and financial support, all right, will be at risk if we don't participate in FIFA competitions. All right, that is it. That's all. Nothing else. We get nothing. No. Except perhaps. Except perhaps. No, listen. Except perhaps. The exposure our players will get by playing in and out of international capital. And that is far greater let's move on. I don't want to talk, to clear his point. Wouldn't it also be disastrous when we're going, if we should withdraw and then those funds come into the GFF that are also used in developing other aspects of football other than the national team? Wouldn't it be disastrous? Let's move on. We have women football. Let's move to and then we talk about the relationship in Cameroon.
Me and you and other Gambians, genuine Gambians out there, we all said the team is just going out there to play the first 3 games and come back.
No, actually, we are hopeful. We really were hopeful.
Chab, you are hopeful?
Oh,
the same hope that you have is the same equal hope I have here that we could have made it in this World Cup quality. And we can still make it.
Yes. Listen. You have to be realistic. We are moving forward.
Yes.
We are 10 teams.
Yes.
We have 10. Rather, we have 5. I don't know. We are going to have played 10 matches in this World Cup series.
Yes.
10 matches. We started 2 away.
Yes.
We might play, I don't know when it's next week. We might play 2 more away, both home and away.
Very true.
The Gambia government, these people, spend over 200 million to get us. The Gambian government is me and you and everybody. That's what I'm saying. You are directly there. Okay. Over 200 million to get us to Cameroon alone in the Cup of Nations. 200 million plus. How much money are they going to spend from now against the end of the World Cup 2025, up to the World Cup in 2020 when the qualifiers will end? How much money will we spend? How, in terms of realistic, are we hopeful that we are going to come on top of those teams in our group?
But the 200 million you are talking about
listen,
is part of that 200 million, which is still, funding the team.
I just want to
you said that. So for you think the 200 million has been used?
Let's move on now. Finally, Musa.
Exactly.
Because none of us agree with your point, so let's move on.
We will not agree with him.
Because why?
None of us agree with you.
Because why? I am saying that if I were...
it's not you.
If I were...
Let's move on.
If I were the minister...
You are done.
So if I were the minister...
Let's move on. It's not you.
I'm going to engage the GFF when the draw for the World Cup was out and said, look, in my experience in football and knowing our... And not that I'm not ambitious and I wish the country to do everything, but realistically I know that I would do well in this competition than this other one. What are the ramifications of we pulling out? The GFA would advise them, look, if you pull out of this place, no, listen, I'm not finished. If you pull out, no, listen,
no minister will do that.
The problem is that you want us to move.
The grouping is done.
Now, Musa, finally,
grouping is done, and we just come out and say,
let's move on.
I am not sure that we will make it in this group.
Finally,
so let's withdraw.
Yes. Finally, prayer. You look at the announcement of the players he used and the ones that are absent due to personal or injuries. But particularly interesting is the players he invited into the squad, like Arama Bojan, Momodo Bayo, and this Sidibe and all the others that are quite new, quite young and new. And he's spoken about his enthusiasm in mixing the new ones with the old ones.
Yes.
How much do you think these people will bring to the squad? technically.
Yes, Cham, great achievement for those young lads. And looking at the team, the coach is very wise. He knows that bringing in 4 young under 20 players, blending them with players that have AFCON and other experience would be a great move for them. And for me, I think the coach has done justice, because I stand to be correct. We have coaches that have come in and left Gambia. But I've never seen a player being invited around Senegal or this area to come and join the national team. Or Idrissa has been invited. So that means he's now telling those players within Senegal and other countries around Gambia, and even those local players within the league here, you have a chance to be in the national team. So those players, they have been doing well out there. You look at them and you follow their progress since from the under 20 World Cup and to their current clubs right now. You see that they are performing. And he did say it's not about you having to play week in, week out for 90 minutes. But what matters is the level you are. And if you come in every week and you play 2, 3, 4 minutes, it's enough for him to call you to come and compete than bringing Jawla, Musa and Paul, who are playing here every day and scoring 100 goals. But the levels are not the same. So I have confidence in this squad.
I want to help Paul in here, Cham. I mean, in terms of, your questions in response to, the players he invited in. I mean, justifiably so. Okay, let's start from the goalkeepers. You start Babukar Gay, Toldo, and Lamin Ceesay. Yeah, Babukar is injured. Toldo perhaps is not in the best of forms. Lamin Ceesay is invited, still there. Now I'm coming. Sibi has been there before, and he's had a good run. Ibrahim Jaju is in top form in Estonia. So these guys were also being invited. So there is no new player in the goalkeeping area. Because Gay, if Babukar was fit, probably he would come. So one of these two, would drop. So I'm just coming.
But that's auto injury, we were told, is it?
Yes. Babukar is he has a surgery. I'm giving a chance for Joseph Gomez, for example, is also not fit. Injured. So that is why you have a replacement in the defensive position with Omar Koli. You equally have in the Mohamed Sane, who played in our game against Cameroon.
He did extremely well.
Ibu Toure, he had
a new ones now.
That is why the new ones I'm giving you the team, the line exactly. Yeah. You look at the defense is set up. Ibu Toure is also probably on holidays. That's why he is not. He's a reliable back. So it's Jacob, who is injured. Recovering. Now, if you look at the midfield, we only have Solmar. Solmar went to the AFCON without playing a game. Ivo Adams is in there. Ivo has his, very well. It's a good tournament besides his red card against Senegal. Yusuf Abob is there. Jamano is there, even though he has notching an injury. So is Alassane Mane, top form. And these are so the strikers you're talking about. The only person who is out, Hassan Ceesay, injured, not fit, for example. But Musa is there, Musa Juara is also back. These new invited guys, Bajo. It's good that you bring them in, let them feel being in the senior national lineup. The under-20 World Cup is also a learning curve. They might not have the opportunity to play, but being in that setup is a progress on its own.
So that's succession planning. This is succession planning. So Bajo was already invited during Tom.
Yes.
He was called. So his idea when he came, he had a lot of respect for what has been achieved already.
Yeah, because
he said if the young ones are coming, they're going to fight for their places. They want to replace the old ones. Whenever Tom unveils his squad, the attention, or rather the reactions, are always combative and controversial. When this guy unveils sketch, what has been, in your observation, reactions?
Well, generally, like Musa said, social media is free for everybody.
Say anything you want.
You can just go there and write whatever you want to write. When the unveiling was done, in other WhatsApp group, others are saying the right players. There is in one group or two, I asked someone, who are the right players? And he could not respond. if you said the right players are not being invited, who are the right players? Now, the coach was asked this question after calling the list of players he invited. Can you kindly please tell the public, the other players that are not invited, what are their reasons? And now he started to mention them one by one. Okay, Musa didn't come because of an injury. Omar Koli didn't come because he's recovering. And this question comes in, why did you bring Jamano? Because and he said his injury would not affect him that much if you invite him to the national team. Coaches get to know that. You have to know the type of injury that can stop a player from not coming for national duties.
Not just
and now,
injured and then
this question is, we Gambians, we always focus on XYZ is not invited. Now the players, you are saying the right players are not invited.
What made them
now those that are called to come and wear the Gambian national players, how would they feel? Who will speak for them? Who is going to represent their voice to say, okay, hey guys, instead of us standing to say, you are the selected players, go out there, represent Gambia, go out there,
do the job.
Sweat, do the job, so that when September comes in, the coach now sweats to decide. Okay, now Babakar Gay has recovered, Jacob Mendy has recovered. When Jacob was on injury, I got him that under 20 player, Sedi Khan, and he did well. What is going to be my fate now to decide on Ibu Toure, Jacob, and Sedi Khan?
Okay, there used to be speculations and even assumptions in the public domain on the Tom, that the backroom staff, the Gambian technical team, and maybe the GFA may have influence in his selection. There have been accusations like that.
Those are personal opinions.
Even if they have happened,
the influence is positive.
Now listen, even if they have happened,
the results have been,
even if they happen, if the story had been happening, how do you think this coach would be different in taking up pressures or influences from outside? Does it look like one like that from what you have read?
Cham, the president of Gambia Football Federation told him categorically clear that during the unveiling,
this is what I wanted to say.
Free hand.
Independent to select whoever you want without our interference.
Yes.
You understand? And now he was asked, Gambians always want, okay, we have been crying out loud that Tom brings in people outside. Now we saw the same backroom staff that works with Tom. It's the same backroom staff. When he was asked about, okay, are you going to change? He said, no. They know the players. They know the culture of the team more than I do. Bringing in new people will not help me to achieve. You need to start to work with those people and get to know them. Okay, do they have the real material or the working skills, capacity that I need to work with me? Then that's the time you start to reduce them. Yes, during the unveiling of the players squad, he was equally asked again, who is your first assistant coach? And he said, everybody on my technical team is my assistant coach. As long as you have an idea, because I knew people wanted to know who is T-Boy and Alaji Sada, who is the first assistant coach. And he did has a very good response to every.
They are my assistants.
Everybody, even if you are a kids manager, you are his assistant. As long as you have a good idea, bring it. You might have a good idea and you sit with it there, and Musa might have a bad idea and brings it up, which is not going to help the team. But he equally made it clear to them, if you have any idea and you bring it forward, make sure you have to stand firm to defend the idea that you brought in. Hey, Coach Jonathan, we need to do this and this and this, and then you need to talk about
everybody knows that everybody within his team is part of his thing, but people are asking about structures. It's important to know structurally who is who. That's what they were asking.
So the coach spoke very well. He openly mentioned his structure, that I am the top. These people are next to me.
I mean, the specific but the specific question as to who is his assistant.
And I think it's relevant what he mentioned.
And no amount of diplomatic knowledge
in response.
We can stop people asking.
People are satisfied with what he has. Giving them as an answer.
Some of them wear the outfit that they use in Ivory Coast, and then the new coach has a different one with T-boy, and then people started to say, okay, looking at the outfit now, and others said no. Someone said in a WhatsApp group, no, you cannot just justify through the outfit. Definitely. Look at how they are sitting.
Who is on the right?
T-boy is on the left. This one is on the right. So that means automatically this one is. So like they can sit
What would stop from day one? What would stop from those authorities saying that this is the structure? T-boy or Alisha or somebody is the assistant? It's simple as straightforward.
Now, before we waste energy here, let's wait for the official announcement.
It's important. That's why they're asking. Yeah, when I walk into the National Sports Council, I want to know who's the executive director.
So you get to know that. You get to know that.
No, you will know. But I think now our focus is going to be, like he said, forward and collectively forward.
The coach is managing. The coach is.
Let's look forward to the next game and then see how we win that.
The coach is managing information, but it's not out of place for the journalist to ask.
Yeah, but no, it's not.
It's been answered. So that's it.
It's not answered. It's not directly answered.
No, maybe to you. Satisfactorily. It has been answered. And then nobody cares again.
It's manager.
You are not still
now. Okay, with the response, he now gives everybody an opportunity to come up, even during a game or during training ground, to come and say, okay, coach, this is my observation. Can we do this?
Listen, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about those who appointed them, such as Jawla and others, should say from day one, coach assistant is Mr. X. That's what we expected. Anyway, we have got typical Gambian football argument. Okay.
I like this conversation.
With this coach, John Markins, right? A very good tenure as Gambia's coach for the next 2 years.
Sure.
And we wish you all the fans all the best for all the fanfare that we are expecting in the World Cup and Cup of Nations qualifiers. Let's go, Gambia. Let's enjoy. Let's wish each other the best of success in this new era in Gambian football.
Forward.
The brunch will continue with a look at the national awards, an event that's going to be staged by the National Youth Parliament after this short break.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635-9906.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Brusubi opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3.
Welcome back. This is the brunch on Kerfatu Live. Oh, well, after that lively discussion on football, we still stay with Youth Matters because I am here with the Speaker of the National Youth Parliament, Omar Cham, and we will be discussing about the forthcoming national awards. But then, Omar, welcome. First, let me start by asking you, since your election as Speaker of the National Youth Assembly, how have you been faring in terms of your mandates? And let me first begin by asking the layman's question. Have you often not been confused with the actual National Assembly? When it happens, how do you tackle that?
Thank you so much, Mr. Cham. And I want to say wonderful greetings to all the beautiful viewers there. So the National Youth Parliament, in order to answer the question, is basically a non-profit, non-partisan youth organization that was established to represent the voice of young people. So it is evident that we've been sometimes confused, for the National Assembly, especially for people that are not very exposed to the mandate of the Youth Parliament because of the word Parliament. However, it is distinct because the National Assembly was established by the Constitution, and the National Youth Parliament was established of course, through our registration to the Companies Act. By extension as well, it is not a government establishment, it's a civil society organization, and it has a kind of a limited age group. Like you have to be between 15 and 35 before you can become a member. So being Speaker has been really amazing experience for me. For the fact that before I even wanted to become Speaker, there were things that I identified in the organization that needed improvement upon. And I've been a member since 2008 because when I joined the National Youth Parliament when I was a kid, I was the youngest member at the time.
Okay, so we're going back to understand the National Youth Parliament. You said it's not a government institution; it's just a civic society. It's set up by civic society.
Yeah.
And its mandate, co-mandate, for example, is to propagate and advocate for the voice of the youth.
Yeah.
Do you, in any way, have any powers to come up with legislative proposals that can end up being bills in the parliament, in the actual parliament?
Oh yeah, it happens. So, for example, we have persuasive, authority, and we've been able to create that. So let me start by mentioning a very historical moment in the National Youth Parliament. That was with issue of the seatbelt and the helmet. You understand that when the Road Traffic Act was enacted initially, it did not have that. It was the National Youth Parliament that actually advocated for such amendment to include seatbelt and actually helmet. So that is that landmark achievement when it comes to legislative advocacy and so on. So yes, we've been able to do that, but also we get consulted when certain bills are actually tabled at the National Assembly to hear our voices.
Especially if it affects the youth.
Exactly, if it affects the young people. Just about 2 weeks ago, we were invited by the Joint Committee of Health and Gender of the National Assembly to submit our position when it comes to on FGM in relation to the Women Amendment Bill, which is currently.
You have not publicized your opinion, or is it a controversial?
No, we did. The position of the National Youth Parliament is that the law should be withheld. We should uphold the law rather, and we should not pass any law that is going to repeal the act. The law banning FGM. But we also, by extension, asked for more dialogue and sensitization programs where we're able to sit with even the people that still want to do the practice and have try to have a common ground on the way forward. Yeah.
Okay. So, and it is national based.
Yes.
Your representatives come from all over the country.
Right.
But unlike the actual parliament, how do your constituencies or your representatives, what do they represent?
Yeah, thank you so much. So a little bit similar to the National Assembly, our representatives actually come from constituencies. So it is the youth organizations and the youth groups that are actually in those constituencies that are responsible for electing a representative to the National Youth Parliament. So that is for the 53 representatives. Aside that, we also have nominated members who are, yes.
Self-appointed or you nominated?
No.
The president nominated. I don't know how you get yourself.
Okay, so for the case of the NYP, that's the elected representatives from these constituencies. They're not forming a regional parliament as well. So they actually nominate at least one woman for each region to actually be part of the parliament. So that means they're saving reserved seats for women. So to have 7 women from
you have done better than actually the actual parliament
of course,
in terms of gender.
Exactly. We keep advocating for something like that in parliament, like a quota system. Aside that, to ensure there's inclusivity, we give the mandate to the Gambian Federation for the Disabled to also nominate 2 young people, male and female, into the National Youth Parliament. So they're like nominated members for persons with disabilities. So that makes it a total of 64 National Youth Parliamentarians, which includes the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. And aside that too, we have a secretariat that is responsible for running the day-to-day affairs of the Parliament, and this is headed by the clerk, the National Clerk.
Good. Now let's talk about the national awards. When you say the national awards, what do you mean? Well, who are the people to be awarded and for what?
Thank you. So the National Youth Awards is is the talk of the town, I'll put it. It is a very spectacular event that we are organizing to award the young people that are doing amazingly well in their various fields, to say thank you for all the service that you've been offering to this country. This is a token of appreciation that we want to render in the presence of the entire country. So that is what the award is about. So it's going to target young people that have been creating impact in their various domains. They've been changing lives. They've been positively impacting society in general. And then we give the award to them. But in relation to that too, we try to connect it with the legacies of others that might in fact be older, but they're still present. So, or even those that have passed away, to ensure that we create a link between the two, the current and the former generation, to bridge intergenerational gap. That whilst we support and award young people, we also remember some of the legacies that are
so there may be awards that actually recognize people who are not much elderly.
Yeah, so we'll have, there's an award category called the Friend of the Youth Award, which is going to award it to
that
someone.
Can go to anybody.
Yes, anybody
not
that is not
necessarily youth.
Exactly. Also, the awards were named after legends in those various domains.
In the domains.
You know, as a way of recognizing their efforts in national development.
Okay. For example, if you are awarding a good sportsman, perhaps that will be named after Biri or
something. We named the sports award for Biri Biri.
Okay.
It's called the Biri Biri Award for Sports.
Fantastic.
We have the Deda Hydra Award for Media.
For press, yeah.
Exactly. And we have Usunjai Singor Award for performing arts, and so on. So all of these awards have their names.
I see. Yeah. And when is the event?
It's on the 8th July. On the 8th June, sorry.
Wow.
On the 8th June.
This is at the corner.
This is at the corner. Basically, when today returns. That is a Saturday coming.
Yeah, today week.
Yeah. At the Saroda Kairaba Jawla International Conference.
In the morning?
It's going to be at 5 p.m.
Oh, in the p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be at 5 p.m.
So what sort of ceremony does it look like? Apart from the award, do you have speakers? Do you have general public comes in there?
Yeah, we'll have few speeches. Of course, we don't want it to be a boring night of speeches, but we have few speeches, and we'll also have artist performances and some poetry and some other juices that will only be a surprise to those that are going to be in attendance, so you can't miss it.
Have you notified naturally the prospective awardees already?
Yeah, they've been notified. All those that were nominated have been notified, and currently we're working on the publication of those that have been shortlisted. So each category is going to have a maximum of 3 nominees, and then I think by Monday, we should have the publication of that, and it will be open for public voting for about 3 days, and then the judges will decide. But the unveiling is going to be at the awards itself on Saturday.
You said the nominees must be people who have done something very impactful, in their domain.
In their domain, yeah.
How many awards are we giving?
We have 23
categories. How many?
23 award categories.
23.
Which is a lot, but
that's quite a lot.
It's not even enough when you look at the impact you are creating and the various, how diverse the various fields are when it comes to young people's work. So Yeah, we believe it's a good start, but who knows? Perhaps by next hour we might have more, or we're required few certain hours together, because that has been part of the recommendation that we got from the awards committee when they were actually deciding. In fact, there is an award that there are 2 hours they had to bring together, but it's not yet officially communicated. So I will leave that until the official communication.
So the event is at the Sadauda Kairaba in around 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit. How's your relations with the actual parliament, for example?
Very
the actual
amazing.
parliaments, they are conflicted when it comes to political matters. Each of them have their biases. What about you, your organization, your youth parliament? Do you also sometimes find yourself at the end of heated political debates?
Okay. So for the National
Because
Assembly,
you said you are non-political.
yeah, we are
Ironically,
non-partisan.
You are supposed to be parliament, but you are not partisan.
Yeah, we are not partisan.
Okay.
So the National Assembly.
How's your relations with it?
Yeah, our relation has been amazing. It's like big brother, little brother. They've been very cooperative, from the level of the parliamentarians themselves to the level of the National Assembly service. The clerk is a great friend of ours, and through our partnership, we've been able to hold the first ever National Youth Parliament sittings at the National Assembly chambers, which was
wasn't that day you sat on the speaker's chair?
Yes, exactly. So I was, I had to actually sit on the speaker's seat, and aside that, we do have trainings for National Assembly members on their mandate and so on. Like it's a partnership, just to better put it. Now we're not conflicted when it comes to politics, because it is already a core value in our operation that we cannot be partisan, and we have, in fact, embedded in our constitution that anyone that is partisan is supposed to be dismissed. It doesn't even have to go any election at the parliament level or the house having to agree or not. So long as you're discovered to be partisan, there's sufficient evidence. All that is need to be done is to be sent a letter, because it is seen as a gross violation of the constitution of the National Youth Parliament. So that is why we are in a very comfortable position when it comes to politics. We don't support any party, and no one supports any party at the National Youth Parliament.
At least not in the public or in your functions.
No, even secretly.
Oh, my friend, you must have a political party.
No, the National Parliament.
I'm saying not in your work, but obviously you are Gambian.
Yeah,
you definitely must have it. But
so the argument from our end is that obviously you would vote for someone in elections,
yeah, absolutely.
but not necessarily.
That cannot be reflected in your job, like ours too.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah. So you're expected to ensure that ethic is guided throughout the time,
Exactly, yeah.
and that you don't do anything that is going to even make people suspicious of somebody in your party.
Yeah. That's quite important. And who are the people expected to come, apart from the awardees and the organizers? Who are you inviting?
We're inviting high dignitaries. The entire public is going to come. Inshallah, young people are our main targets, because we want the young people to come on board and witness their fellow young people being awarded, and that would be a form of an inspiration to them. But we also invited people from government, the National Assembly members, as well, our good friends, and of course the media. Our wonderful, our most consistent friends, we call them. And the artists, like I put it, poets. Yeah, I think it's basically a national youth award, so everyone is welcome on board. We want everyone to be present.
How do you get funding? Yeah, I know the actual parliaments, well, they themselves approve budgets, and they must have catered for themselves adequately.
Right.
You see them with Prados and all those controversial things they voted for themselves. Yeah. But what about you, being a volunteer, non-profit, how do you get funding?
Yeah, I think, actually our fundings primarily come from our partners, that is the donors. Like you would know, we are not. There is no appropriation for the National Youth Parliament.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, why wouldn't you not advocate for that?
I think
there must be some.
There have been conversations.
Must be some justification.
There's been conversations around that end. Yeah. Like how do you ensure the National Youth Parliament actually, is funded? Because what happens is, most of the things that we do are very national driven, and it goes across the length and breadth of this country.
And non-political.
Exactly, and non-political.
Perhaps you should now look for public funding.
Yeah. So the conversation is on, but we want to ensure that whatever that we are doing does not also affect our independence, as a youth parliament, in the work that we do. So the conversation is going. I'm very sure perhaps by the end of the year, there's a way we will chat that will ensure that even if we were to be provided that form of support, it doesn't affect our independence in any way. I think the issue has been, how independent would the parliament be if that is to happen? But primarily our fundings come from other partners, primarily the UNFPA, UNDP, International Republican Institute, IRI, and of course the National Democratic Institute, NDI, currently we just formed a new partnership with UNICEF. Yes, and we're hoping to get more partners on board. But these are institutions that have really assisted us in the past, and the British High Commission as well.
Good. So on the day, on Saturday, that is Saturday, the 8th July at 5 p.m. at the Sadauda Kairaba Conference Center will be the National Awards organized by the National Youth Parliament. Is this annual event, or it is it's just when you feel to give awards?
No. So it's going to be an annual event. Is that
the first time?
Yeah, this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time. But we want to do it annually. And we are very hopeful that we should be able to have the required support and partnership in order to do it annually, because young people are delivering annually and continuously, in fact, on a daily basis. So left to us, those years is going to be skipped.
What about the coverage? For example, do you capture youths doing wonderful things in Sare Alpha, in URR, or in Masembe, in LRR? And not just somebody at the Serakunda. How widespread is the coverage?
That is a very wonderful concern, because that was part of the things that we really prioritize when it comes to the awards. And we had to ensure that our parliamentarians, because we are parliamentarians in every constituency,
makes it easier.
We had to ensure that they share this information with everyone that is under their constituency and have nominations from there. And thankfully, we did have nominations from people outside the Greater Banjul area. Like I said, it's not yet officially announced yet, those that are actually shortlisted, but definitely we're able to have people outside this area.
Good. Yes, Mr. Cham, so tell us finally, what do we expect on that night? Is it you mentioned some of the goodies that might come apart from the awards there?
Exactly.
Music, jamboree.
So here we go. First of all, you can't miss this. It is a matter of you can't miss it. And if you're to miss this, it has to be because of very serious emergency.
So that means I will have to be there.
Yeah, you would need to be there. I'll use the word need. You will need to be there.
Okay.
Anyone that is watching this very important program, you can't afford to miss it, because there are certain opportunities, they come once in a lifetime. And this award is a once in a lifetime opportunity, even though there will be more awards coming. But this is the first edition. You can't wait to not be included in that history. So you have a role to play. Get tickets, get your family tickets, get your friends tickets. If you work somewhere, get your workmates tickets. Even if you
where can we get tickets before the event?
Yes, so we've shared a flyer online. Okay. We ensure we share with your media house as well. You can help us share it, where you can get your tickets from. But even if you're not in the Gambia, even if you're abroad, you can always support by sending a token. And then it's going to go back to the young people and their welfare. So we call on everyone to come on board, come on support, like they put it, come one, come all.
Right, fantastic. Well spoken, Omar Cham, the Speaker of the National Youth Parliament, on the occasion of their first National Awards taking place at the Sadauda Kairaba Conference Center, Saturday on the 8th June. So we all come on board and support the National Youth Parliament. You can have tickets well before the event from various platforms, as would be announced. Thank you very much for being on the brunch, Mr. Cham.
Thank you so much.
Why would I say your honor? Your honor. Honorable Omar Cham.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, this is about it in the brunch. I will be back next week, inshallah, with more brunch. Goodbye for now.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635-9906.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Brusubi opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited, or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051, or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Agada. Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyenji.
Okay. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Bijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka.
Mbale.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere. Birin koyna fo katon.
Bari si kodo kino katon nim fo bolong labe to.
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono anin Gambia bantala bankol. Nko kono kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 ti nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale le dadi ma nin domorol dil fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat.
Apelen da
baraka. Ni ma lafta nyelen kendol e binaji.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Baraka.